Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Concordia University, Chicago, and play in the Division III Baseball Regional.
Good Sunday morning, ladies and gentlemen, to the Cougars Sports Network. We thank you for joining us on day 3 of the Division III Baseball Regionals here at Concordia, Chicago. I'm Ryan Fahey with you. We're going to pick up where we left off from yesterday. As you see, this was going to be game 2 of our tripleheader from yesterday, but due to inclement weather, we are going to continue this game from where we left off yesterday. As currently right now, the Cougars have a 6-5 lead over the Yellowjackets of Baldwin Wallace. And for the Cougars, it was Litke, the pitcher, yesterday before we had to stop play due to the inclement weather conditions that came through the area. So Zach Litke did not register an out yesterday. He gave up a walk to Philip Wells, the first baseman, and then Sam Susterstick, the DH, with a double. So currently right now, runners are on second and third for Baldwin Wallace. Wells the runner at third, Susterstick the runner over at second with that double as we mentioned. Coming into the at-bat right now for the Yellowjackets will be the left fielder Jacob Bonner, as he, off of yesterday's 7 innings so far, as we're going to pick up where we left off. He is 2 for 3 today, and I say today, calling this for just one game. From yesterday to now, he is 2 for 3 in this contest in particular, 2 singles and an RBI, and he flew out to left field back in the second inning from where we were from yesterday. As you see on your screen right now, from yesterday before we had the rain come through and we had to stop play for the remainder of the afternoon, 6 runs on 12 hits, no errors for the Cougars of the Concordia Chicago side. For the Yellowjackets, 5 runs on 11 hits and a couple of errors for them. So as mentioned, new pitcher here, Anthony Rogers, to start off our Sunday morning action. Rogers comes in with a 1-0 record and a .213 earned run average and 12 2/3 innings pitched so far this season. Making his 11th appearance this season is Rogers, the 6'2 sophomore from Bolingbrook, Illinois. Has given up 3 runs, all earned, walking 5 batters, striking out 11 of them as well. So Jacob Bonner now will get us started off here in the bottom of the 7th on this Sunday morning, as we're expecting weather-wise, as we have had a little bit of issue with that all weekend long. We're expecting just some spotty showers as we go along, hopefully not enough to where we'd have to halt play again, as we'll get the rest of the schedule for today's action as we go along, as Bonner takes inside for ball 1. So with this finish that we're going to have here between the Yellowjackets and the Cougars, the loser of this one will take on the Beavers of Buena Vista, as this is double elimination format here, as this one is a shot into left field, and the Yellowjackets, 2 pitches into our morning contest, are going to take the lead. So a 2-run double as Bonner delivers for the Yellowjackets of Baldwin Wallace, and it is 7-6 to the team in yellow.
Right fielder number 7, Reese Albright.
So officially will be ruled as a single and a advance on the throw home. So Bonner in scoring position after advancing on the throw. 7-6 our score. Bases cleared off that 2-run single by Jacob Bonner. He's now got 3 RBIs in this contest. As mentioned, we're continuing action from yesterday. Bunt laid down from Reese Albright, the right fielder, is fouled off. Get you the defensive alignment for the Cougars here. We mentioned Rogers, the pitcher. Rodriguez completes the battery duo behind home plate. Van Duzer, Mercado, Sorrentino, and Mariotti rounded from third to first. Brandon, Tyrell, and Fouth left, center, and right. Reese Albright in. He's 0 for 3 today. And I say today, going back for our contest from yesterday, as kind of cheating in from first base was Mariotti, expecting another bunt attempt, as that's fouled off 0-2. Tony Laparo, the third baseman for the Yellowjackets, is on deck, who is 0 for 3 today with a couple of strikeouts, 1 looking and 1 swinging. The winner of this will go on to the regional championship game that'll be hopefully played later on this afternoon. I say hopefully again with the weather conditions and pace of play. Again, no stadium lights here, so we do have to go with the sunlight battle throughout the course of the later afternoon and into the early evening hours. Albright struck out swinging back in the second inning of this contest. As here comes the 1-2 from Rogers, and that evens up the count. So early morning energy from the Yellowjackets, thanks to Jacob Bonner with the 2-run single to give the Yellowjackets a 7-6 lead. Overcast skies, expecting to get temperatures into the low 70s at the height of the day as the count runs full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Litke, the pitcher yesterday, before we had the game called, gave up the walk to Wells and a double to Sam Susterstick as Albright draws the walk. So far between 2 Cougars pitchers, they have yet to register an out here in this half inning, as the Yellowjackets in business. You had to sometimes wonder if, when you had the Yellowjackets get that leadoff walk from yesterday in the bottom of the 7th and the double, you had to wonder if the momentum was going to be stopped and flipped over to Concordia Chicago after play had been halted due to the weather. But that has not been the case here this morning. So Tony Laparo, the third baseman now, with runners on first and second, squares to bunt, pulls away as it's inside for ball 1. Laparo 0 for 3 today with a couple of strikeouts as mentioned. He popped out to the shortstop in Mercado back in the 4th inning yesterday. As now we'll have a meeting on the mound for the pitcher in Rogers. And if you're just catching up with our action from Saturday, it was the 5, 6, and 7 innings in which the Yellowjackets have been able to grind their way back into this and take the lead. In the 5th inning of our contest yesterday, they had 3 runs on 4 hits. They had a couple of 3 singles and a double in that 5th inning to get those 3 runs on 4 hits. And then a 2-run homer in the 6th inning from the shortstop Alex Ludwig. Got them within 1 after the end of the 6th inning yesterday. And as we carry over into today, it's a 7-6 lead as you see on your screen, courtesy of a 2-run single from Jacob Bonner. We'll catch you up on how Concordia got their runs from yesterday into today in just a moment. As here comes now the 1-0 from Rogers. Bunt shown again, but it's fouled off. So for the Cougars, it was started off yesterday by a Connor Brandon solo shot. And then in the 3rd inning, it was an RBI single from Brian Van Duzer. 2 runs came in the 4th inning yesterday for Concordia Chicago, courtesy of a 2-run double from Brian Van Duzer, who went back-to-back in innings with getting an RBI done. And then 2 runs also came in courtesy of Matt Fouth and Keegan Tyrell off of respective RBI singles. 1-1, shown bunt again, but low and away for ball 2. So 2-1 count now coming to Laparo, the 8-hitter in the lineup for the Yellowjackets in this contest. Bunt shown again, but it's fouled off, and the count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Brandon Dim, the center fielder, is on deck. He is 1 for 2 today with a single and a walk. Thanks for joining us on this Sunday morning. A little earlier than expected from our original schedule coming into this regional. But that's what happens sometimes when Mother Nature likes to get in the way. Overcast skies right now. We had a light sprinkle before we got on the air as that's fouled back, and that's going to be a strikeout bunt. So a much-needed first out for Concordia Chicago, as that's the first out recorded in this half inning. That's not 3 strikeouts for Laparo in the box today, as this now brings up Brandon Dim before we go to the top of the order. After Brandon Dim, should this continue, we'll go back to the top of the order for Asa Adams. the catcher for the Yellowjackets. And we'll have about 30 minutes or so in between games here today. Again, the loser of our contest will be playing right away in those 30 to 40 minutes, as they'll be taking on the Beavers of Buena Vista. And then the winner of our game 2 here today will take on the winner of this one you're seeing right now for the regional championship. As that one clips dim, that'll be a hit-by pitch, and the bases are loaded with one out here in the bottom of the 7th inning, and that's going to be the end of the morning for Anthony Rogers. So pitcher number 5 coming in now for Concordia Chicago in this contest, as Mike Tobin, number 26, the 5'10 freshman, is going to step on in to the box. I should say the mound, I should say. Tobin will dig on in. We'll take a short timeout as he gets warmed up here. 7-6 our score in favor of the Yellowjackets. Bases loaded, one out in the bottom of the 7th.
Your attention, please. Now pitching for Concordia, number 26, Mike Tobin. And I don't want no one to cry, but tell them if I don't survive, I was born free. I was born free. I was born free. Born free. Free like a river raging strong.
As we come back in now off the pitching change, a quick note about the last 2 bullpen pitchers for the Cougars as Tobin gets set into the box, and we'll get you the numbers on him in a moment. Between the reliever in Litke from yesterday and into this morning with Rogers, so far in this half inning, of course, this half inning started yesterday, and with the weather being stopped, we push it into this morning. Between Litke and Rogers on the mound here in this half inning, they've combined for 22 pitches, 8 of them only strikes. So you do the math as to how many balls have been thrown in the contest there. That being 14, I just did it for you. As Mike Tobin now will step on in, 1-0 record with a 169 earned run average, making his 18th appearance on the year, has 7 saves on the season and 21 in the 3rd innings pitched, giving up 14 hits, 6 runs, 4 of them earned, walking 7 batters and striking out 20. So to the top of the order, Asa Adams now steps in here in the bottom of the 7th, up by 1. Bases loaded with 1 out, as this one hops into the dirt. Good stop and blocked by the catcher, Rodriguez, ball 1. Adams is 2 for 4 today with a couple of singles. Alex Ludwig, the shortstop, who hit a 2-run homer in his last at-bat in the 6th inning of our contest, is on deck. The 1-0 now as Tobin fires that one down the middle for strike 1. A much-needed strike there for the freshman in Tobin, the 5'10 senior from Hickory Hills, Illinois. 5'10 freshman, excuse me. A little ways to go before being a senior, as this one is low and in, ball 2. This is the 7th batter in this half inning for Baldwin Wallace, as they've got 4 unanswered so far from the bottom of the 6th inning onward, as that one is in there to even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. See the runners all along the base pads there. You've got Wells over at 3rd, or I should say you have Bonner over at 3rd, Albright at 2nd, and Dim over at 1st. Wells came in to score off the 2-run single from Bonner earlier this morning, as this is a pop up to the left side. That'll stay in the field and over in foul territory. The catch is made, and a big second out for the Cougars. As Van Duzer makes the catch in foul territory.
Shortstop number 11,
as there's 2 away.
Ludwig.
As that brings up Alex Ludwig, who is 2 for 4 today. He had a couple of flyouts back in the 1st and 3rd inning. Singled in the 5th and came in as a run scored later when he was on the bases. And in a game-changing 2-run homer in the 6th. That catches the outside corner, strike 1. Tobin looking to limit the damage with his team trailing by 1. Top of the 8th inning to be led off by Matt Fouth for the Cougars, and into the top of the order in Jose Mercado, then Keegan Tyrell. The 0-1. In there for strike 2. With the change of the schedule, a very nice crowd here on hand on this Sunday morning. The freshman Tobin will step off as time has been called. Kyle Pennington, should this continue, is on deck. And then the Yellowjackets would have batted around here in this half inning. Oh-2 is in the dirt, blocked by Rodriguez. A big spot here in this contest. Here in day 3 of our regional action. The 1-2 is a ground ball to the shortstop side, Mercado. And he is not going to be able to get to the bag in time. Everybody is safe, and a run comes in to score. 8-6 Yellowjackets. So it'll be officially ruled an RBI fielder's choice as everybody is safe. As Bonner will come in to score. Albright will advance to 3rd. Dim now over at 2nd. A high-risk play by Jose Mercado. Not able to step on the second base bag in time. As this one gets away. And another run will score for Baldwin Wallace, 9-6. So Albright comes in to score on the wild pitch. Dim advances over to 3rd on it. And Ludwig will take 2nd. A 4 spot here for Baldwin Wallace in this bottom half of the 7th inning. The 1-0. Shallow pop fly to the right side as Sorrentino makes the catch. And thankfully, if you're Concordia Chicago, it has come to an end as the Yellowjackets get 4 runs on only a couple of hits, no errors, and 2 runners left on base. The game has changed. 9-6 Yellowjackets. Top of the 8th, we will go. Matt Fouth will lead it off for Concordia Chicago next here on the Cougars Sports Network. To the top of the 8th inning, new pitcher now in this morning for the Yellowjackets. Garrett Miller was the last pitcher we saw from the start of yesterday's contest. Garrett Miller, the freshman, went 2 innings on 24 pitches, giving up 2 hits and a strikeout. New pitcher in is Jack Rains. We saw him in our Friday doubleheader of day 1. Get you the numbers on Rains, the updated numbers on him in just a moment. As we go to the top of the 8th inning, as Matt Fouth will lead things off, Rains with a 3-4 record and a 439 run average, making his 21st appearance of the season in 65 2/3 innings pitched, striking out 73 batters, giving up 41 runs, 32 of those earned, and walking 14 batters, along with having 5 saves. So Matt Fouth, the right fielder, now will dig in. The 9-1 and 2 hitters do for Concordia Chicago, trailing by 3. Outside the ball 1 to the right fielder, Fouth. An interesting factoid, too. We talk about how Concordia Chicago has done a lot of their damage this season in the 1st and 2nd inning. Well, despite this being technically the 8th, this is the 1st and 2nd inning of Sunday morning. Keep that in mind. As Fouth hits this one out to right field, and this one is going to drop. That got in towards the hole, towards the right field line, as Albright tried to make the play, but he couldn't get over there in time, and a leadoff single from the 9-hitter Matt Fouth gets the Cougars a base runner here in the top of the 8th inning. As we go to the top of the order, Jose Mercado. Mercado is 1 for 3 today with a stolen base and a hit by pitch. As Mercado's first pitch he sees here is a called strike 1. At the top of the order again for the Cougars, he'll be followed by Keegan Tyrell, who is on deck, the center fielder. Cougars down by 3. They had a 3-0 lead going into the bottom of the 5th. Or I should say a 4-0 lead going into the bottom of the 5th as Mercado swings and misses there. Yellowjackets answered with 3 runs in the bottom of the 5th to make it a 4-3 score. Then Concordia Chicago to answer with 2 more to make it 6-4. We then got tied at 6 going into the top of the 7th as Mercado hits a drive onto this one. That's hit well to left center field. And Jose Mercado with a 2-run bomb to get the Cougars within 1. That's a way to get the Concordia Chicago crowd up on their feet on this Sunday morning. So after the Cougars give up 4 runs in the last half inning, they get 2 of them right back to get within 1.
Center fielder number 3, Keegan Tyrell.
So that brings up Keegan Tyrell, as momentum has jumped right back to the Cougars here in the top of the 8th inning. What a start to our Sunday morning action. 4 runs in the bottom of the 7th for the Yellowjackets, and now a 2-run homer from Jose Mercado, as that's his 4th homer on the year as Tyrell fouls us off to the left side. We saw quite a finish to day 1 of our doubleheader on Friday, which was a walk-off by Kyle Pennington of the Yellowjackets to defeat St. John's, who have been eliminated from the regional, losing out in the double elimination format. And now here on this Sunday morning, we're starting our action off with a bang. We had a great contest here for these 2 teams before weather stopped play yesterday, and we're picking up right where we left off. No dull moment here so far. If you woke up with us for Sunday morning action, well, you're getting a treat here. Nothing like regional baseball. Once it's do or die time as Tyrell swings and misses. And that's the first out of this half of the 8th inning. So that brings in Brian Van Duzer, who got the scoring started for the Cougars in the 3rd and 4th innings respectively. He's got 3 RBIs here in this contest. He's 2 for 4 today, reaching 3 times. Mentioned the 2 hits. He reached also on an error. Van Duzer. It's a chopper to the third base side. That is a fair ball. He didn't even run over to first. He thought he fouled it off. And there's 2 away. Not much of an appeal from Van Duzer as he maybe took 5 feet over to first and then just sort of gave up.
First baseman, number 8, Brody Mariotti.
So with nobody on and 2 out, Brody Mariotti. He is 0 for 3 today, reached once on a hit by pitch. Mariotti looks at a low ball. Connor Brandon on deck should this continue. Mariotti in his last at-bat struck out swinging in the 6th as the 1-0 is swung on in a drive to left field, and that'll get down for a 2-out hit. Runner on first for Connor Brandon, who has had an incredible season in his senior year for Concordia Chicago, the Conference Player of the Year, 11 homers to go along with 60 RBIs.
The batter is the left
for the
fielder,
6'1" senior from Joliet, Illinois. They could use his big bat once more. And he will have it work as the line will keep moving as it's a single for Connor Brandon with 2 outs. So Gianfranco Sorrentino, who came in and replaced Braden Benavidez back in the 6th inning yesterday as a defensive replacement, reached on a fielder's choice yesterday. As well, he's going to actually step out of the box. So we're going to have a pinch runner now over at second.
Your attention, please. Running at second base for Mariotti is number 40, Nathan Dewey.
So we do have a couple of changes here on the base pads. Nathan Dewey now comes in as a pinch runner over at second for Brody Mariotti. And a pinch hitter now for Gianfranco Sorrentino. Coming in now is Abe Paz. We'll get you the numbers on Paz here on the season as he'll be seeing regional action for the first time today. As on the first pitch, he fouls this one back. He's a .289 hitter on the season, striking out 21 times with 3 stolen bases, 17 RBIs, walking 5 times, to go along with 6 doubles and 3 homers. Wind blowing out today here in the early morning action. As Paz now, the right-handed batter gets set. Here's the 0-1, and he looks low for ball 1. Sorrentino reached on a fielder's choice as Paz has taken over his spot in the order. 9-8 our score. After 4 runs from the Yellowjackets, Cougars have gotten 2 of their own here in this top of the 8th. Will the line keep moving as Rain stepped off to perhaps throw over to second, but nobody was there to keep an eye on Dewey, who was the pinch runner in there for Brody Mariotti. Connor Brandon still the runner over at first after the last at-bat was a single for him. The 1-1. That's in there for a called strike 2. Paz perhaps looking to tie or give the Cougars the lead in the top of the 8th inning on this Sunday morning here at the Thunderdome at Cougar Field. The 6'1" senior from Columbia, Abi Paz. The 1-2, swung on a chopper to the third base side, but it'll go foul. Paz with 22 hits this season, scoring as a runner 13 times in 76 at-bats. The 1-2 from Rains is in there for a called strike 3. Rains gets out of it after allowing a 2-run home run from Jose Mercado. 2 runs come in to score for Concordia Chicago on 4 hits, no errors, and 2 runners left on base. A tight contest to the bottom of the 8th. We will go as the Yellowjackets will send Wells, Susterstick, and Bonner to the box next here on the Cougars Sports Network.
Defensive changes for the Cougars. Now playing first base is number 36, Jacob Frank. And now in at second base, number 6, Matthew Uba.
So as we get set here for the bottom of the 8th inning, we do have a couple of defensive changes for Concordia Chicago. As over at first base now, we saw Nathan Dewey come in as a pinch runner for Brody Mariotti in the last half inning. He'll be replaced over at first base by Jacob Frank, who now mans the first base side. Over at second base now is Matthew Uba for the Cougars, as he'll be seeing his first time in regional action this weekend over at second base. So Frank and Uber man the right side of the infield. Mercado and Van Duzer still over at shortstop and third, respectively. Tobin still the pitcher for Concordia Chicago. Rodriguez the catcher behind home plate. Connor Brandon over in left. Keegan Tyrell in center. And Matt Fouth still over in right. As Philip Wells now will step in. He started that last of the 7th inning from yesterday with a walk, and that's how the Yellowjackets got the 4 runs to go in that bottom of the 7th inning. As on the first pitch, he hits this one out in the left center, and that'll get down for a leadoff single for Philip Wells, who's now registered his 3rd hit of the contest. So leadoff man aboard for Sam Susterstick, who doubled in the bottom of the 7th when we had the start of this game yesterday, and he was the last batter officially on the card before we had halted play due to the weather. Susterstick 1 for 3 today with a walk, and that double, as we mentioned, is on the first pitch. He swings and misses at that one. Good pitch there from the freshman in Mike Tobin. Jacob Bonner, who got the scoring started in that bottom of the 7th this morning, is on deck. It was a 2-run single that he hit, as the 0-1 is speed pitch low for ball 1. 30 minutes into our contest on this Sunday morning, we've had 6 runs already from both sides combined, as this one's fouled off and out of play down the first base side. We thank you for joining us on this Sunday morning, waking up with us for Division III Regional Baseball. Same crew back here as well, setting their alarm clocks. Shelby Spitz, our producer, along with Alexa Lomentini and Courtney Luciano. I'm Ryan Fahey with you. And of course, the man that can do it all behind the scenes, CJ Selner, also in the booth with us, helping out with the stats as the Cat goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. And of course, Jim Egan, our fine public address announcer here at the Thunderdome. And we cannot forget about Neil in the back as well, as this one is inside to make the count full. As I will say that we are getting low on the Cheez-Its and pretzels. I don't know about the Sour Patch Kids yet, but we may have to make a grocery store run in between games to keep us all hydrated and well fed up here. As a shout out to the great staff all around Concordia, Chicago for the excellent hospitality room that they've been able to provide for media, folks like myself. Italian beefs on Friday, Lou Malnati's yesterday. What's in store today? As a swing and a miss, here's what we're in store for there. A swing and a miss, strikeout. So one away, still a runner at first. Jacob Bonner, the left fielder now, is not going to be in the box, as we do have a pinch hitter here for Baldwin Wallace, as Andy Blau.
Batting for the Yellowjackets, number 9, Andy Blau.
As Blau will step in as the pinch hitter for Bonner. As Bonner's day will end in the box going 3 for 4 with 3 RBIs. Reaching on with 3 singles. And came in as a run scored in that last inning in the bottom of the 7th. As Blau on the first pitch swings it to right field, making the play is Fouth over in right, and there's 2 away. So with 2 away, Wells still the runner at first after the leadoff single.
The right fielder.
As that brings in
7,
Reese Albright, who walked back in the 7th. It's the only time he's reached base here so far today. Otherwise, he is 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Strike 1, runner goes. Tobin thought the pitcher was coming back over to him, and that'll be a stolen base for Phillip Wells over to get in the scoring position at second. Tobin got kind of caught off guard there as Rodriguez kind of made that late second decision to try to gun out Wells, who was taking off for second. The 0-1 now from Tobin. In there, strike 2. Tony Laparo, the third baseman, should this inning continue, is on deck. The 0-2, foul back. Laparo 0 for 4 today with 3 strikeouts. Swinging strikeout, looking strikeout, and then a bunt strikeout, which occurred in the last inning. So the freshman Tobin looking to strand Wells at second. As Tobin fires on the 0-2, and it's a pop-up to the right side. As Frank trying to make the play and calling for it, but then dropping it out of his glove is Uba. Wells will come in to score, as getting over to second is Albright. 10-8 Baldwin Wallace. So Albright gets on to second via an error by Uba, the second baseman. So Wells comes in to score. Albright now over at second for Tony Laparo.
Third baseman number 5, Tony Laparo.
A big drop there from Uba, who has come into second defensively in this half inning for head coach Mike Stosky and Concordia Chicago. As him and Frank went for it down the right field line, Fouth would have had no play on it from where he was standing out in right field. As this 0-1 is fouled towards the Concordia Chicago dugout, 0-2. That could loom large as we go to the top half of the 9th. Mateo Calle would be the projected next batter on deck for Concordia Chicago to lead us off in the top of the 9th, followed by Justin Rodriguez and Matt Fouth. The 0-2. That goes down the third base side out of play. Brandon Dim, the center fielder, is on deck. Cougars going to need to muster a 9th inning rally down by 2 as this is swung on and hit down the first base line, but that's going to get out of play. Frank tried to make the run over towards the fence behind the vantage point of the dugout from where we're at here up above home plate. 5 runs here for Baldwin Wallace from the 7th and 8th inning combined. After we halted play yesterday in the bottom of the 7th to continue on this morning. Ground ball to the first base side for Frank, covering over is Tobin. Nicely done on the 3-1 ground out. And that'll do it for the Yellowjackets here in the bottom of the 8th, but not before they get an insurance run out of it. Off of 1 hit, 1 error, and 1 runner left on base. One's across there in that sequence. Top of the 9th, we will go. Cougars going to rely on the bats of Kaye, Rodriguez, and Fouth next here on the Cougar Sports Network.
For Baldwin Wallace, number 9, Andy Blau remains in the game, playing left field.
Do or die time for Concordia Chicago, down by 2, 10-8 our score. The 7-8-9 hitters due in the lineup for the Cougars. Mateo Kaye, the DH, is going to lead us off. Concordia Chicago, the away team here in our contest of this Division III regional action. Second game for both teams in this regional weekend, as inclement weather has pushed our Day 2 festivities to here to start Sunday morning, as we hope to get everything in here on this Sunday. So a long day of baseball on Championship Sunday, as Kaye swings at the first pitch down the right side, and that'll get out of play. Kaye 3 for 4 today with a double and a couple of singles, and came in as a run scored back in the 6th inning, courtesy of an RBI hit from Matt Fouth, who we'll see here in the top of the 9th as the 3rd hitter in this sequence of this half inning. The 0-1 swung on, and a liner that is caught by the second baseman and Kyle Pennington, and there's 1 away.
The catcher, number 25, Justin Rodriguez.
So 1 out for Justin Rodriguez, who's got a couple of hits as he's 2 for 4. Rodriguez hits on the first pitch here to right field, and that's going to get down for a 1-out single. And Rodriguez, if you go back to when we started this game yesterday, he officially was out on an 8-5 putout when he was a runner over at third base. An appeal from Baldwin Wallace took away the run as Rodriguez came in to score from what originally looked like a sacrifice fly to center from Jose Mercado. Had that appeal not happened and that run would have counted, we were looking at a 1-run ball game right now. So keep that in mind as we progress here through this top of the 9th inning. As Matt Fouth, the right fielder, who singled back in the 8th. Same thing for the 6th. Looks at that one outside, ball 1. Matt Fouth has reached base all 4 times today. Swung and missed at a strike 3, but reached on a wild pitch back in the 3rd. Reached on a fielder's choice in the 4th. And then we mentioned the 2 singles from the 6th inning and the 8th inning respectively. The 1-0. Swing and a miss there as that one was low. Jose Mercado, who hit a 2-run monster shot to left center in the 8th inning, is on deck. It was quite the tense game before weather stopped us yesterday, and we're picking up right where we left off on this Sunday morning. The 1-1. Foul tip, strike 2. Mercado, as we mentioned with that home run, is on deck. He's 2 for 4 today with those 2 RBIs. He reached 3 times in this contest. He reached on a hit by pitch back in the 3rd. If the Cougars lose, they will have to play the next game that will follow about 40 minutes after. This is a ground ball to the third base side. It could be 2. It's a 5-4-3 double play. So Fouth goes down on the ground out to end our contest here on this Sunday morning, as the Cougars fall to 1-1 here as their host of the regional, and the Yellowjackets of Baldwin Wallace move on to the regional championship and will await the winner of Concordia Chicago versus the Beavers of Buena Vista, a rematch from Friday. What a way to start off our Sunday matinee, as Game 2 between these same Cougars and the Beavers of Buena Vista will take place in about 40 minutes. Final score here, Baldwin Wallace 10, Concordia Chicago 8. Strap it down. We got a great day for baseball. If this is how we're going to start off Sunday morning, the do-or-die game for Concordia Chicago and Buena Vista is coming up next in about 40 minutes. Stick around here on the Cougars Sports Network.